Good afternoon, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. So like I was telling you guys in yesterday's vlog, that we ended up going to, well, my dad went to Tony's and Caputo's yesterday, and I told you guys that originally we planned on going to Jewel and Aldi today. However, my dad was meeting with a football coach that runs like the same as their high school offense, and like him and the head coach were like going to go and meet with this like coach that's a little bit further away, I guess. My dad actually ended up getting up I think around 4 o'clock and left by like maybe 5 or something like that, I think, or close to that. I don't know, maybe they were like at their high school, because I think that's where they ended up going, like by 7, like it was a little ways away, or you know, like 6 o'clock or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but like he was gone until about noon today, so it really wasn't gonna end up working out for us to be able to go today to go to the grocery store. So we're going tomorrow, and hopefully go early in the morning so that we can get all of that like grocery shopping stuff, the last of it, taken care of. And so I was telling you guys like a couple days ago, just because I had finished like all my grocery lists, I had finished like all the stuff that I kind of needed to get done, like, you know, at least finished big bulks of things that need to get done. Like, you know, again, I caught up with like all the laundry. Like I still ended up doing a load, maybe 2 loads I think yesterday, and I did another load today. You know, so I was pretty much caught up almost anyway. It was just kind of like, you know, just what we've accumulated over the last few days. But I honestly did only a couple loads during the week, and then those last 3 loads at the end of the week, like we didn't, you know, because I'm not behind. That's kind of the average of like, it's almost equals out to like being maybe a load of laundry a day. And I wouldn't even say that. I think honestly, because the size of our washing machine, it's probably more like again too, depending on if people's bedding's dirty or somebody wants a blanket wash or like, you know, whatever else, like if there's extra stuff. But as far as like clothing goes, like it's really like equals out probably closer to like a half of a load of laundry a day. So you know, like 3 loads by the end of the week I think is pretty normal. Too, I got all that caught up with. Like I haven't needed to do that. Like the dishes too, there's like 3 things right now in the dishwasher that are dirty. That's it. The dishwasher's completely empty, and like it's all loaded up to, you know, again too, I'm not gonna run it with 3 things in there. I unloaded it tonight, but like I washed everything this morning and then unloaded it today, and like it's sitting there with just 3 things that are dirty in it right now. So like I've just been so caught up with everything, and like I'm getting a lot of editing and uploading done and stuff like that. And also you know, I did, like I said, my grocery lists, I finished those all up on like Monday. They're like finished or finalized everything I think by like Wednesday, and then we also went to Meyer on Wednesday, so like I didn't have anything to do because my dad went to Tony's and Caputo's on Friday, and then like we're still not going to Jewel and Aldi until tomorrow. So it's like I haven't had anything to do. I haven't been like, oh, I have to make my grocery list, or you know, like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store or something like that, like, you know, because of the way everything's been scheduled out, sort of. So like tomorrow when we go to the grocery store, which is why I wanted to do Jewel and Aldi's today, would have been nice to just kind of get it done with and be, you know, like I said, have it, you know, finished and over with. So tomorrow, like when we watch the football games, there's not that many on. There's only the 2 games that are on. So then after that, you know, we have you know, there's not much else going on tomorrow. But I could start my Meyer list tomorrow if I wanted to, and kind of just get a jump start on it, because like I was telling you guys, it's just so weird being like so done with everything that I normally push off until like the last minute, to just be done with it now and be like, oh, like, you know, I can start working on next week's. Like, because again too, I was sitting in my room and I was like, what do I do? Like, you know, I was like, normally this would be a lot of the times where I'm like, oh, I have to make last minute, you know, like grocery list or something like that. And I was like, I don't have to worry about that. We don't have to go to the grocery store, you know. I mean, we have to go to the grocery store tomorrow, but like I don't have any like, you know, oh, I still have to make the grocery list, or I have to do this, or you know, whatever it is. I don't have to worry about that because I already finished everything. But like because I finished it so early, I'm like still like, oh no, like that must have been Meyer's like list or whatever that I finished. So I'm like, no, I finished Jewel's too. It's just I've forgotten that I did it because I did it so long ago. And like I was telling you guys too in yesterday's vlog that like my dad went to Tony's and Caputo's. Like I didn't even remember what he got because I made the list list so long ago too. Like, you know, normally I'm making it like the day before. Maybe at most it's like the day before that, but normally I'm doing it like the day before, or I'm like going over it the day of or something like that. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that like today. So again too, it'll be a surprise to me when we go to Jewel tomorrow as far as like what's actually on the grocery list, because I've kind of forgotten at this point, like the sales and the deals that were going on and stuff like that. Like I have had to update a little bit of Aldi's, just if I was like, oh, we have to, you know, get this, or like, oh, we're out of that or whatever. But other than that, again, I've not, like, I haven't looked at the Jewel list at all, so tomorrow is going to be a surprise to me as far as like what's on the list. And like, that's the other thing though, I do feel like, I don't want to say it's a problem, but like maybe a little bit, is that like tomorrow when we go to Jewel, I'm going to be going through the grocery store, and normally I'll be like, oh, we have to get grapes, you know, so I'm like, okay, well, we'll go to the produce section first, like, and I have it all on the list times two because I just went over the list. I'll be like, oh yeah, like, you know, okay, I know we go to this aisle next, we'll go to that aisle, you know, whatever. And so like I just have like a plan, like, you know, like 2 or 3 items ahead, like I know what else we still have to get. And sometimes too, my dad, like, because he's normally the one that kind of like reads off the list, and so he'll be like, oh, we have to get this or whatever, so like I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right, you know, like reminding myself kind of that that's what's on the list. Whereas though sometimes the stuff might, like, he might read something, either skip something, or we might end up putting something, like I thought something was in a different aisle, and I was like, oh wait, like we're gonna get this, which is actually here, or something like that, because it's really weird. Okay, I know like the store layout, and like that's how I make my grocery list. When I do that, I'll be like, okay, we normally come in on like the Jewel side, so we come in through the produce side, so we'll go to like produce first, and then like the next aisle is like the cereal aisle, and then the aisle after that's bread. Then there's like 3 aisles where my brain cannot figure out which one comes first. Like, I know all of them in order, because then after that it's like the drink aisle, and there's like 2 or 3 kind of drink aisles, and then, and I don't know necessarily where all those end up going, but they're kind of right in that spot. And then it's like the refrigerated slash freezer section, and then there's like the double freezer section where it's like freezer on both sides, whereas the first one with the dairy is like the dairy's on one side of like the freezer aisle, and then the frozen stuff's on the other, and then the further part has like double like freezer aisle, if that makes sense. And then the one next to it has double freezers all the way down, and then you get into the like the Osco side, and that'll normally be like the, you know, the household stuff, you know, toilet paper and like laundry detergent and soap and, you know, that kind of thing. But then after that's like the, you know, also I guess kind of the Osco side, where it's like more of like the personal care stuff, so it's like, you know, shampoo and, you know, body wash and razors, you know, like deodorant, that kind of stuff, like in that spot. So like again too, I know everything like in order of the store in Jewel, but sometimes again too, those like 3 aisles that are right there, I always end up screwing them up, and I never know which one like comes first, and like where the stuff is, and like for sure. And so whenever I'm making my list, if I know that stuff is in that location, I just kind of clump it together. So I'm like, oh yeah, like, and then when we get over there, I can just be like, okay, we needed this, which is, you know, again, near or in this aisle area or something like that. So that's one of the things I do just to make grocery shopping go a lot faster, is to make my grocery list in order of like the grocery store, not just be like, oh, just throw a whole bunch of stuff on there, because then I'd have to cross things off. And normally if I do it in an email, like that's, I just send myself an email of like the grocery list. But if I have to do it like where it was like, I'd have to print it out like physical paper and then actually like check this stuff off, because I used to use notes on my phone, but I couldn't like share that like with my dad or my mom or like whoever I was going to the grocery store with a lot of times, just to help, like, you know, again too, if I forgot my phone, or just to make it easier, like if I'm going to grab something, like I said, my dad will sometimes be like, oh, we also need this, like that's the next thing on the list or whatever. And so, you know, it helps me, I think, kind of like know where we're supposed to be as far as like in the store or something like that. But if I don't have that like list and it's not in order, then I'm, you know, like I said, you're all over the place, and you're like in one end of the store, and then you're all the way back in the other, and then, you know, so like I said, whenever I make my grocery list, I do that. And I think I was telling you guys too that a lot of the grocery stores also have, like, if you go on their app and stuff like that, they'll have the actual aisle number like listed as well, so it can help you keep track a little bit better of like where the stuff is in the store if you're making your list. And here's the thing, I'm gonna go on a little rant, because I do like that Walmart, I make a list normally though in the Walmart app when I go to Walmart. And again too, they will have the numbers like listed on. It's separate from adding to your cart, because I think Jewel might also have a list feature. I just, again too, normally don't use it. But like Walmart, if we have to like run into Walmart or whatever, it's normally smaller, and like, you know, I don't have that much stuff to get, so we'll just run in and grab like a handful of things. But I do have it, like I'll add this stuff to a list, and they will again too have the aisle number that's listed on there, so it's really easy for me to just go ahead and, you know, find this stuff. Well, the problem is that in the Walmart app, it doesn't let you organize. You can like organize the list too, and it'll say like, oh, sort by like, you know, again, price value, or, you know, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but like it doesn't sort by like aisle number, which would be the most helpful, I feel like, so that you could just be like, oh, when I first walk in, the produce, like if you added like produce to the bottom of your list, whereas like it wouldn't like organize it like in like number aisle, you know, so it's like aisle 1, aisle 2, aisle 3, like it doesn't do that. It organizes it, it just doesn't organize it like that. But you can, it has like function to organize the list based on like different things, but like not like category, or it might be category, but again too, if you're like buying just food stuff, it just categorizes it, like leaves it how it is, and like, you know, so you can't, versus like if it was like in a different department it might. But yeah, I don't know, I don't like it. That's why sometimes too, even with Walmart, if it's going to be a bigger list, I will copy it over and make it in a like email to myself with the actual aisle number in it, so that I know everything's in order, because I do that so often when I go to Walmart. I'm like, oh, I just need like 5 things off of the list, so I'll just put them on the list on Walmart. And like I said, I'll do that, but then when I go to the store, it's like all the stuff's out of order, so I end up walking like over the entire store for like 5 things, where it should take me like 5 minutes to just go in each aisle and grab the things that I need. But instead I'm like walking the furthest aisle, then like halfway back, then like all the way back to the other side, then like, you know, all the way to the front of the store. And yeah, I just wish that the Walmart app was a little bit different. But you know, like I said, that you could categorize it that way would be really, really nice. But I should have my Jewel haul for you guys tomorrow. If you guys did enjoy today's vlog, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see y'all with some shiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.